Gun to your head, you have to lose 60 pounds in 6 months or boom, brain splattered all over the fucking concrete. Would you be able to do it? Now, some of you may be thinking, what the hell did I just click into? That's like so extreme, that would never happen. But the reality is, if you had to lose weight, would you be able to do it, right? And I'm talking in a healthy, sustainable fashion, because obviously if you had to lose 60 pounds and like you had to do it in a week, you'd probably just cut off your arm or your leg and call it a day. But obviously we are doing this for the purpose of feeling good, looking good, and being our best versions. So how do we lose weight? How do we lose fat specifically? You don't just want to lose weight, because weight could be muscle as well. You want to lose fat specifically. That way, you actually get rid of the bad stuff and look your best. So you luckily clicked on a master's video. My name is Sebastian Bedinker, and I've actually already done this. I've lost 60 pounds in 6 months when I was competing. I used to struggle with binge eating and overeating, but I was able to develop healthier eating habits, and now I've created the Binge Breakthrough Academy, where we help other busy professionals just like yourself do that same exact thing. Develop those healthy eating habits and get in the shape that they deserve to be in. So you're coming to someone who actually knows what they're talking about. So the first thing that I want to talk about is the mindset that it takes to lose weight. And I know you may be thinking, let me just skip past this. Do not fucking skip past this, dude. Do not just go straight into the practical info, because guess what? I can tell you exactly what to do. I can tell you, okay, this is how you should eat. This is the workouts you should be doing. This is how to track your calories. But if you do not have the bulletproof mindset that it takes to lose weight, you are not going to lose the fucking weight. Okay, so most important thing is the mindset. You have to realize that you are where you are because of your habits. Okay, so maybe if you're out of shape, maybe if you're overweight, if you're in the body that you don't want to be in, that you don't feel comfortable in, and the clothes is fitting you weird, and you don't like the way the clothes feels on you, and you're not confident, and you walk around with your head down, right? All of those are effects of being overweight, being out of shape. But you have to understand that it's because of your habits that have led you there. Okay, first thing is taking massive accountability. It's not your PCOS, it's not your insulin resistance, it's not your diabetes, it's not all of these fucking medical conditions. I've worked with all of those people and I've helped them reach their health and fitness goals. Okay, I'm not saying those things don't make it harder, they do, but it's not impossible to lose the fat, to get in the best shape of your life. So it's very important that you don't blame anything, right? You don't blame a medical condition. You don't blame your parents for raising you the wrong way, for not teaching you how to eat healthy. Right? You don't blame your financial circumstances, right? You don't say, oh, eating healthy is expensive. You know what else is expensive? Being fat, right? That's medical conditions. That's doctor appointments. That's medicine. The cost of being fat will far outweigh the cost of eating healthy. And also, if you actually know where to shop, it's really not that expensive. Aldi is one of the best places where you can get healthy food for cheaper than Walmart, right? And I've gone to both, okay? But listen, what I'm trying to say is don't come up with excuses. Right? That just shows me you're going to lose. If you think that you're fat because of this or because of that, it shows me you're going to lose. You're not serious about this. You have to take full accountability that you're in the position you're in because of you, not because of anybody else, not because of other bullshit. It's because of you and your habits, right? Maybe you've been eating like shit every day. Maybe you've been eating fast food every day. Maybe you've been skipping the gym. Maybe, you've been just doing all these things like eating junk food. Like snacking on chips, hot Cheetos, eating ice cream in your home, right? And you're living a sedentary life. You're not going out. You're not moving. You're not walking. All of those things, they stack up incrementally, right? And that has led you to the position you're in. But now let's take a flip side. When you're able to take full accountability for this and realize, okay, I have full control over my life, that's when things get good. Because guess what? Now you can stack up the correct things incrementally, and that's how you can improve your life. So if you go to the gym every day, if you start eating healthy every day, if you start actually logging what you're eating, and you start eating, fruits, veggies, lean protein sources, healthy carbohydrates like rice or potatoes, and you start doing that every single day, guess what? That's going to stack up instead of those other negative habits. Like eating like shit, like going out every weekend and drinking, like smoking weed all the time and getting the munchies and, killing your calorie deficit. Instead of stacking those negative habits, now you're going to stack up the healthy habits, and that's how you're going to get to your dream body. But it's very important that you take massive accountability instead of blaming other things. Okay, that's the mindset you need. And every person that I have ever worked with that has actually lost the weight took that approach and realized, okay, this is all on me. I'm not going to blame anyone or anything else. And guess what? the people who fail, the people who never lose the weight, it's because they say, oh, I can't do that, I'm too old. Oh, my metabolism. Oh, my PCOS, whatever, right? They didn't take accountability, and that's why they don't see the results. And the reason that that's so common, and 99% of the world lives like that, is because it gives you an excuse, right? The reason you're not successful is just because of this. It's out of your control. And they make it seem like it's out of their control. Oh, I'm fat because of this, right? I'll never be able to be healthy because of this. And so it makes them feel good. And it makes them stay in that comfortable, complacent place that they're in. But if you actually want results, you actually want to lose the weight, and you want to live a 1% life with a body you can actually be proud of and show off at the beach and be confident in, then you have to take accountability. So now that we've discussed the mindset and how important that is, let's get to the practical, actual step-by-step game plan that you're going to need to follow. So most important thing when it comes to nutrition is understanding this one thing. It's the law of thermodynamics. The only way you're going to lose fat is by being in a calorie deficit. Okay, like I said, it's not about controlling insulin. It's not about, eating metabolically healthy foods, right? It's all in your calories, right? If you're overweight, it's because you've been over-consuming calories. If you're anorexic, it's because you've been starving, right? Literally, you cannot fight that. It's a biological response, okay? So I always give the example. If you think that's not true, by the way, go live in a third world country and don't eat for an entire week and see if you still are fat. Right? You would lose a ton of fucking fat. You would lose a ton of weight, right? So the only way you're gonna lose weight is by being in a calorie deficit. So there's many websites. You can go on calculator.net and you type in your gender, age, height, weight, activity level, and it's gonna give you a calorie deficit to reach for. Now that you have that number, write it down, okay? It's important you find that number and you write it down, that way you have it and you know it. Okay, now you're gonna need to actually track your calories. So I recommend an app called Lose It. It's completely free. You can log in all your food. You would just scan a barcode of whatever you're eating, and it lets you track your calories. Also, make sure you invest in a food skill to make sure you're accurately tracking your food, okay? Don't just eyeball it. That's where so many people mess up. They think, oh, I'm eating 2,000 calories every single day, and that's my deficit, but I'm not losing weight. And I ask them, okay, well, are you tracking? Yes, okay. Well, are you weighing out your food? No, I'm not. Then you're not tracking accurately. And that's the most likely reason you're not actually losing the weight, because you don't have an accurate measurement. So to make sure that you don't fail and you actually lose the weight, make sure you're using a food scale. Another thing, guys, that you want to keep in mind is the quality of your food is very important. Now, I'm not saying, like, you could eat Twinkies every day and lose weight. You could eat McDonald's every day and lose weight. There's been studies that have proven that, because at the end of the day, all that matters are the calories. But does that mean you want to do that? Fuck no. Okay, you want to be eating healthy foods. And what do I mean by healthy foods? I mean clean, whole foods, okay? Lean protein sources like chicken, tilapia, ground beef, steak, right? You want healthy fats in there like nuts, avocado. You want to minimize those though, because those are high in calories, right? Your diet only needs to be about 10 to 20% fats. So you want to minimize those, but you still want healthy fats for, your hormones. Healthy carbs like potatoes, cream of wheat. Is it cream of wheat? Yeah, cream of wheat, rice, things like that, right? Healthy carbs in there, because carbs give you energy. So you want clean whole foods in there that are gonna help you on this journey, because if you're just eating BS, like Takis and Twinkies, and you're in a calorie deficit, yes, like I said, you may lose weight, but you're gonna feel terrible. You're gonna have terrible cravings because that food doesn't keep you full. It doesn't keep you satiated, right? So you want foods that are actually gonna help you stick to your diet and stick to your goals and fuel you, make you feel good, not make you feel like shit or lethargic or low on energy. You want foods that kill your cravings, not cause them. So you want to be sticking to, I would say 80% of your diet, clean whole foods, and then 20% you can have some more freedom. But again, make sure you're tracking everything. That way you get an accurate representation. Another very important thing is, guys, cut down on oils and butters. So many people are using oils when they cook and butters when they cook, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, right? Like, oils and butters they're healthy fats, but also they're so high in calories that people don't even realize, because you're most likely not measuring. So just switch to a 0-calorie spray, like an avocado spray. It still has a little bit of calories, but it's so drastically less than the others that's going to help you tremendously. So instead of using oil or butter when you're cooking, just stick to 0-calorie spray, and that's going to help you tremendously. Another thing that I constantly hear people say is like, I just don't have time because, like, I'm a busy professional. I'm at work, right? Or have a family, and that's fine. But that's not an excuse. Again, you never want to put the blame on other things. So what you can do, what I recommend for my busy clients that are entrepreneurs or they're in the military or they're engineers is like, okay, so let's go to the grocery store and get some healthy pre-made frozen meals. Okay, they've got like lean cuisine. That's a really good option. Very lean, and the food actually tastes good and has good macros. Another option, if you can afford it, meal prep, right? So you can go to a company like Factor Meals. I'm not sponsored, by the way. I'm just saying I've worked with them in the past. They're pretty good. They're pretty decent. So there's always an option. And if you're more on the budget-friendly side, then like I said, lean cuisine, very cheap, and it's a frozen, healthy made meal already. All you have to do is microwave it. Now, cooking at home is what I do recommend because it's going to be a little bit healthier. It's not as processed, and it's probably going to satiate you more. But still, if you're in a time crunch, just get one of those pre-made frozen meals. Another thing, guys, is understanding you need to have a set meal time, okay? Don't eat at like different times every single day. Eat at 9 a.m. and then 12 p.m. and then 3 p.m. and then 6 p.m. You should be aiming to have the same meal times. That way your body gets accustomed to that, okay? And another thing is, instead of having 1 or 2 meals a day, this is what killed so many people, have 4 to 6 smaller sized meals. I'm not talking have a huge meal every single 3 hours, but have smaller sized portioned meals every single 3 to 4 hours, and have 4 to 6 smaller sized meals. Because what that's going to do is going to make sure you have protein and carbs in your body, so you have sustained energy throughout the day, but it's also going to make sure you have food in your stomach. That way you don't get hungry and you don't get cravings. So maybe have some eggs and egg whites and some potatoes in the morning, and then have tilapia or chicken with some carbs and some veggies for your lunch, and then have your dinner, same thing, maybe fish, maybe pasta, and then again have your last meal at night, right? But make sure you have smaller sized portion meals, and I'd rather you have 4 to 6 of those smaller ones than just 1 or 2 really big meals. Because what happens is, when you skip breakfast and just have, like, let's say you're intermittent fasting and you just have 1 big meal, is you're gonna eat that meal and an hour later you're gonna be starving. You're gonna be craving something. And that's typically where the overeating comes in, or the binge eating comes in. So you wanna make sure you have specific meal timing as well as multiple smaller meals throughout the day, and that's gonna be a game changer for you. And that's what all my clients do, and it really helps them stay full and stop binge eating. Now I wanna talk about the working out side of things, because it's also very important. Now, 90% of your results are going to come from your diet, your nutrition. But you also do want to be working out. You want to be doing 2 things, lifting weights and cardio. You want to be lifting weights because it's going to help you build muscle, so you don't look like a bag of milk after you lose all the weight. And also, just building muscle is going to help you look better. It's going to improve your body composition, and it's going to make sure your calories are building muscle and you're making the most out of them. And also, the more muscle you have, the more calories you burn at rest. It's actually good for your metabolism. So that means if you keep on building muscle, you can eat more and more and more. Why wouldn't you want to do that? You're telling me I can eat more if I just go to the gym? Fuck yeah, I'm going to do that. So you need to make sure you're lifting weights. I have entire videos on my channel dedicated to teaching how to work out. I'll also tag in I'll link in the description my free workout guide. But the main gist is you want to be consistent, okay? 4 to 5 times a week. You want to go to the gym, and you want to make sure you're using weight that pushes you, okay? No baby weights unless you're a senior or like very young, but you want to use weight that actually pushes you, okay? That makes you break a sweat. That is like, oh my God, this is so heavy. Like, I don't know how I'm going to do this, right? The weight that you're using should scare you a little bit. Obviously, you don't want to go crazy and injure yourself, but you should be you should be using weight that makes you kind of second guess yourself. Like, am I going to be able to do this? Because that means you're actually pushing yourself. And so I recommend, warm up like you would, do 3 or 4 exercises for a specific body part. So let's say it's shoulder day, do an overhead press, do some lateral raises, and then do something for your rear delts, maybe the rear delt flies, and warm up, like I said, and then just do 1 or 2 working sets with weight that actually pushes you in that 5 to 8 repetition range. Okay, so when you use weight that actually pushes you, that's called high intensity training, by the way. And it's gonna help you be in and out of the gym, so you're not spending hours in the gym, and you're still gonna have really, really effective results. You're gonna build muscle the most effective way possible. And that's how I train all my clients. That's how we have such amazing transformations. Another thing is, when you're using that style of training, make sure you're taking long rest periods, 2 to 3 minutes, even up to 5. Like if you're doing something like squats, make sure you're resting, right? Because you're using weight that really pushes you. So make sure you're resting, and also make sure you're staying hydrated. Make sure to drink water after all of your sets. You don't want to be passing out in the gym. You could even, opt for some electrolytes that can help. I have some of my clients take electrolytes if they feel like they need that extra boost. Also pre-workout before the gym if necessary. I would say, like, when it comes to supplements, I'll touch a little bit about them in a few minutes, but when it comes to supplements, you don't really need a lot. They're not even necessary. If your diet is on point, you really don't need them, but it can help. Like pre-workout, I would recommend it because it's going to help give you that extra boost in the gym. Electrolytes can help you have that longer sustained energy and make sure you're staying hydrated throughout your workout. But yeah, when it comes to lifting, so make sure you're using weight that actually pushes you in that 5 to 8 rep range and taking those longer rest periods. And you want to aim for 4 to 5 gym sessions a week at minimum, okay? Now, that's not to say if you start with 2 or 3 times, that's much better than doing nothing, right? It's better to start with baby steps and work your way up than start, okay, I'm going to go to the gym every single day, and then you burn out the second weekend and you never go to the gym again. So start baby steps until you can work your way up. Now, the other side I want to talk about is cardio. A lot of people hate cardio. I hate cardio, but it's a necessary evil, okay? Again, cardio is kind of like lifting weights in the fact that it allows you to eat more, okay? So if you do cardio every day, you're gonna be able to eat those extra snacks that you crave, right? If you wanna have a donut, but you did cardio, that's fine, right? Because it'll cancel each other out. And so you wanna be making sure you're doing cardio after your weights. I always recommend doing cardio after because you wanna use your energy and strength reserves for the weights. That way you can build muscle. That's the priority when you're losing fat. Now, after you lift, you can do your cardio. I recommend LISS, which is low intensity, steady state cardio. You can do something like the treadmill. You just set it at an incline. The 12-3-30 method is what I recommend. You do 12 incline, 3 speed, 30 minutes, and that's gonna burn about 300 to 400 calories every day, okay? So if you do that every day, that's like an extra 3,000 calories in 10 days, which is like a pound of fat. So it's really gonna add up and it's really gonna help you out. So yeah, do your cardio after you lift, and that's really all it boils down to when it comes to training. Like I said, I'll link in my free workout guide down below, and that will give you a good understanding of what exercises to do and how to train. Now I want to touch on the last thing, which is kind of like a mindset thing. I know we touched on that in the beginning, but there's also a back end mindset that you need to have, and that's macro patience and micro aggression, micro impatience. And so Gary Vee practices on this all the time, or touches on this. He talks about it. Basically, it's understanding that this is the journey, right? You cannot expect to lose all the weight you have on your body in a week, okay? I know I said at the beginning, 60 pounds in 6 months is what I did, but that is not suitable for everyone, okay? You may not be able to do that, and that doesn't mean that you shouldn't let that deter you, right? Some of you may even lose more because you have more weight to lose, right? You may be 300 pounds at your start, and you could lose 100 pounds in 6 months. That's not unreasonable. Or maybe you weigh 150, and you can't expect to lose 60 pounds in 6 months because then you'd weigh like 90 pounds, right? So it's gonna be very person dependent. So you have to understand that this is gonna take time. You didn't gain all the fat that you have on your body in 1 week. You cannot expect to lose it like that. It is going to take time, so you need to have patience with yourself. You should be aiming, for 1 to 2 pounds every single week. Like 1 to 2 pounds of fat loss every single week. That is a sustainable and healthy amount. Okay, like I said, some of you may lose more because you're more overweight. Some of you may lose less because you're not at a terrible weight. But it's all about, now let's talk about like the microaggression. It's asking yourself at the end of the day, did I do what I was supposed to do today? Did I at least go to the gym? Did I at least get up off my ass and go outside and walk? Did I, at least not be a lazy butt all day and just not do anything? Did I just not lay on the couch all day? Did I give it my all today? Did I eat healthy? You ask yourself, and you be very honest with yourself about these things. It's time to be very, very honest with yourself. The most important conversations you're ever gonna have in this life are with yourself. And that's something I've come to realize, even though I'm pretty young, but I'm about to be 23, but I've realized the conversations that will change your life are the ones you have with yourself. So it's time to be very, very honest with yourself about why you're where you're at. So did you do your best that you could, every day? But also understanding, like the patience. It's gonna take time to lose the weight. But as long as you do what you're supposed to every day, that's all you can do. And that's gonna help you be patient. You can't rush the process. If you try to rush the process, and I've seen it time and time again, that's where people burn out. That's where people give up on their goals. They stop going to the gym. They stop logging their food. They stop, staying consistent with eating healthy because they try to do it too fast. You have to understand this is a journey. But if you follow this approach and you actually put in the work every day, but also have that patience with yourself, you will see those results you're looking to see, and you will be successful. Okay, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. If you gained the weight, you can lose it. Like I said, law of thermodynamics. People that are anorexic, it's because they're starving themselves. They don't eat enough. People that are fat and overweight, it's because they're eating too much. You want to find that perfect balance where you're in the middle, you're eating food that actually fuels you, that serves for purpose, not solely pleasure. And that's where you're really going to be fulfilled. But yes, understand that this is possible. It's the most important thing. I didn't even touch on this, but you have to go into this with the mindset that I will lose the weight. Right? Like I said, don't set excuses for yourself, but also understand that this is very, very possible. If you've seen people lose weight, why can't it be you? Like, I'm genuinely asking you, talking to you right now, why can't it be you? The truth is it can. But are you willing to put in the work every day and actually stick it through long enough to see those results? Or are you going to give up on yourself in a week like you always do? Make the decision today to actually see those changes, see those positive changes in your life, and stick through with it. And I promise it's going to be so worth it. And if you guys would like to book in a free consultation call with me down below, you can use the first link in the description. Like I said, I'll leave the links for my free workout guide down below. But if you do feel like you need that one-on-one support, you want to join the Binge Breakthrough Academy and want my personal help to help you stop binge eating, stop overeating, develop healthier eating habits, and finally get in the shape that you deserve to be in, then you can book in a free consultation call with that first link. We'll get you in spectacular shape. And yeah, make sure to check out my other videos if you need help with anything else. You got this. I believe in you. Thanks for watching.